So we've just had the qualifying for the Austin Grand Prix of the COTA Circuits of the Americas, and what a brilliant qualifying session we've had. Just some news before the qualifying review. There's some engine penalties for Sergio Perez, Alonso and Zhou Guanyu, all taking 5-place grid penalties for engine changes. And Charles Leclerc also with an engine change and some turbocharge places, so he's going to take a 10-place grid penalty for the race tomorrow. And into Q1, we had a brilliant qualifying session kick off. Nicholas Latifi is going to start in 20th and last place. Mick Schumacher 19th. Danny Ricciardo carrying on his poor qualifying form in 17th. It just wasn't with him, the car, this weekend again. Magnussen qualified in 16th. The star of that was Zhou Guanyu. He actually qualified in 10th. The fastest of that session was actually the two Ferraris, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz in P1, Leclerc P2 and Verstappen in P3. Then we went into Q2 with them 5 dropped out, and we've got Zhou Guanyu in 15th place. Yuki Tsunoda in 15th place, Zhou Guanyu in 14th, Pierre Gasly in 13th, again having trouble with the tyre pressures and brake warm, as we've seen in Suzuka for him. Vettel in 12th with a decent qualifying, and Albon 11th. It was a shame for Zhou Guanyu actually. He did actually manage to get into the top 10, but got his lap time deleted, and so starts 14th, but obviously with a 5-place grid penalty, that'd be 19th in the race tomorrow. Star of that qualifying session was Lance Stroll. He was actually in P8, which is a brilliant lap for him. And we saw Charles Leclerc in P1, Verstappen in P2 and Sainz in P3. So it looked like we were heading for a tight battle going into Q1. In Q1, let's start right at the front. Carlos Sainz with an absolute mega lap. He'll start on pole tomorrow. It was Charles Leclerc with a 1-2 for Ferrari in 2nd place, but he'll take a 10-place grid penalty starting in 12th in the race tomorrow. That moved Verstappen, who actually qualified in 3rd place, up to 2nd on the grid. We then seen Sergio Perez 4th. He'll move back to 9th for the grid tomorrow. I'll run through what the grid start at the end. We then seen in 5th place Lewis Hamilton with a decent qualifying. He had a really good lap in for his first run in Q3. Just made a mistake on the first sector in his second run. Didn't quite go up, but it looked like they were a lot closer to Mercedes this weekend. George Russell up into 6th place. Solid qualifying for him, but out qualified by Hamilton again. Lance Stroll was absolutely mega. 7th place. I think he's a star of qualifying for me this weekend. Brilliant with that Aston Martin out qualifying Sebastian Vettel. Lando Norris got into 8th place and Alonso was in 9th, but he's going to take a penalty starting 14th. And in 10th place was Valtteri Bottas with a decent qualifying. The Alfa Romeo is showing some pace this weekend. So for the grid tomorrow, we've got Carlos Sainz on pole, Verstappen 2nd. Then we've got the two Mercedes on the 2nd row, Lewis Hamilton 3rd and 4th. We've then got a 5th for Stroll, so an even better start for him. So hopefully they can get some solid points for them in the Aston Martin tomorrow. Lando Norris, despite having a fairly so-so qualifying, didn't really have the pace, was going to go out in Q2 in 11th. And actually he's going to start the race tomorrow in P6. Bottas P7, so a decent result for him. Albon in P8, so another strong qualifying for Williams. Hopefully they can hang on and maybe secure a point, but he's got some faster drivers coming behind him. Sergio Perez in 9th. He wasn't on it this weekend. He just seemed slow most of the weekend, especially a lot slower than Max Verstappen. Vettel's going to start in 10th place, Gasly in 11th. We then got Charles Leclerc, who was 2nd, going to start in P12, so we've got fast drivers coming through the field tomorrow. Yuki Tsunoda in 13th, Alonso in 14th, Magnussen 15th, Ricciardo 16th, Ocon 17th. It was a poor qualifying session for him, massively out-qualified by Alonso. Don't know what went wrong for him in Q1. Mick Schumacher 18th, Zhou Guanyu in 19th, and Nicholas Latifi last. Latifi just didn't have any pace this weekend. But what a lineup for the race we've got tomorrow. I mean, I'm looking forward to hopefully a 3-way battle with the teams. Mercedes tend to pull out better race results and done really quite well more recently in the race, so hopefully they can show that with no slower cars in front of them. Decent start for them tomorrow, and we should have a really tight battle up front, but we'll see. Carlos Sainz, Verstappen and hopefully Hamilton in the mix going into turn 1 tomorrow on the start. What a great grid we've got. We've got some fast drivers coming through the field with Alonso and Charles Leclerc, and hopefully we'll have some overtaking here this weekend. Brilliant. We've got the red for Ferrari at the background, and hopefully we can see a race win for them there to start the end of the season and take some momentum into next season, as their season sort of dropped off after sort of starting quite strongly this start of this season. Just hasn't quite worked out for. Hopefully they'll carry some momentum through. It'll be great for them. Some sad news though for the Red Bull team, just to finish on. Dietrich Mateschitz, the owner of Red Bull, who's a real pioneer in Formula One, bringing in 2 teams. I guess for all sports. Sadly, he passed away, the owner of Red Bull. Thoughts go out to him, his family there. We'll see you tomorrow for the race. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.